Distinguished pleasure to welcome to the celebration of Norouz 1424-hour live stream Arsia Rozegar. چطوری عزیز برادر؟
عالی، درود بر شما ایمان جان. سپاسگزارم. Thank you for having me.
درود و نوروزت پیروز عزیز من. انشالله که سال تعبیر خیلی خوبی داشتی.
سپاسگزارم. مرسی، نوروز شما پیروز.
So my friend, one of the reasons why I was so happy to have you as part of this program is one, for the diversity aspect. I wanted to make sure that this Norouz has aspects that will address or cater to children as well. And more importantly, I wanted you because, like I really saw the evolution of Shahnameh for kids, back when you first started it. I think it was 7, 8, 9 years ago or something. And, it's just been so great to see the journey of Shahnameh for kids. And I know it's been a long road. And I'm so grateful to have you here for a little bit to do the storytelling aspect, because to be honest, I've never actually experienced it live in person. I've had you before at our Norouz events, but I was always running around like a chicken with his head cut off, so I can actually finally hear your voice as you share your stories. So why don't you go ahead, and for those of you, for those that are not familiar with what you do, tell them what they can expect in this segment as we cater to children.
Sure. درود بر همه. من ارسی روزگار، نویسنده بای شان کیدز هستم. First thing, نوروز همه پیروز. امیدوارم سال بسیار شاد واسه همه باشه. I wish everybody a happy Norouz. I hope everybody peace, happiness, and prosperity. So a little bit about Shauna for kids. So growing up here, I noticed there really wasn't anything that properly represented Iranian culture in a positive way. And when it was represented, it was often misrepresented, and sometimes it was even racist. And my philosophy is, if you see a problem, do something about it. Don't think of yourself as a victim, be proactive, do something about it. So with my years of experience as a professional comic creator, doing stuff for Marvel Comics, I thought, why not, if I used all my knowledge and my skills to create a children's book series based on the Shahnameh. Like he mentioned, I love superheroes, I love adventure, I love all that kind of stuff. And what better than the Shahnameh, which has some of the greatest heroes in all the world, in my opinion. So that was kind of the spark, was putting something out there that I didn't have growing up. So little kids growing up outside of Iran, they have something to kind of learn from and attach to. And not only that, I wanted non-Iranians to learn about our wonderful culture and learn about our stories and our heroes as well. That was kind of the catalyst of making this happen. And so far, it's been a wonderful experience. I've learned so much about the Shahnameh, which in turn I learned about myself, because there's so much wisdom and amazing things you can learn from the Shahnameh, even to this day. So that was kind of how it began, I think.
Man, I love that. So first of all, do you have a favorite character from the Shahnameh, or maybe one that you relate to the most?
If I relate to, that's a tough question, because there's so many amazing characters in the Shahnameh. My favorite character is probably Seymour and what she represents, the divine aspects of her and her wisdom and her immortality, and how I feel like she represents Iran as a physical manifestation. But as far as the character that I relate to, I'd probably say Zal, because I kind of feel like an outcast myself at times. I love Zal because he's wise, he's good intention, he's honorable, and how can you not like Rostam too? He's like the ultimate superhero. So it's tough to pick one, but probably those three, I'd say, are my three favorite characters in the Shahnameh.
I love that, and I have a confession to make that, although I know a little bit about some of these characters, I'm still not at all educated on all these people. I know Shahnameh for kids, but is there an element that even like adults can kind of just like watch and learn and kind of getting like a little I don't know, rookie, or I don't know, like entry level into the Shahnameh without having to actually read the entire Shahnameh?
Yeah, well, that was part of my intention in doing these books, was even though it says Shahnameh for kids in the title, I approached it so that everybody can learn and appreciate these stories, no matter what your age. I've had grandparents come to me and say, "Oh wow, these books are really fun. I learned these stories that I wasn't even aware of." Iranian grandparents, for that matter. So I think it can be appreciated by a wide audience, not just kids. My approach was like, how would 90s Disney cartoon movies approach these stories. And I kind of went in there like that, because so that everybody, no matter what your age is, if you're 4 or if you're 40 or if you're 88, you'll still like these stories.
And then like are these like subject to interpretation, or like are these like, how accurate are these based on like the Shahnameh? Like when you're telling these stories, how important is it for you to make sure that there's like super accuracy? How does that work when you're kind of converting such a historical and iconic, epic book and making it into like cartoon? I'm just kind of curious about like how you do the storytelling aspect.
That's a great question. My intent was to be very true to the original story. A lot of interpretations of the Shahnameh kind of revise and reimagine these stories, but I wanted to do the stories as they were in Ferdowsi's epic poem. All I did is I kind of simplified them, kind of took out some of the more complicated parts and some of the more violent parts, because it can be violent in the Shahnameh. So I wanted to kind of make it an all age, but the core of those stories, the plots, the characters, the motivations, they're all there, like in the original Shahnameh from Ferdowsi. And not only that, the visuals that I have in the book, which you'll see in a moment, I wanted it to have a proper visual representation. So the architecture, the clothing, the weapons, the shields, they all have authentic Iranian looks to them. So from different dynasties, from the Hachemaneshi dynasty, from the Sasanian dynasty. So I wanted the images to be accurate culturally as well. So I think these books cover those very well, I think.
That is beautiful, man. Well, listen, I definitely want to have a chat with you after you do the storytelling aspect, but I'm eager to have you begin this portion of the program. But before you start, I want to once again tell any parents, if your kids are around, well, first of all, I said, what age group is this intended for ideally?
It's all ages. I tend to see that kids 3 to 13 seem to really like these books a lot, but again, it's for everybody. I really wanted to make these books for everybody, no matter how old you are.
Okay, cool. So basically, I want you to imagine that you are in the room with all these people right around you, right at the bottom of your feet, where, imagine you're like in a classroom or you're at their home, and speak directly to them, my friend, and hopefully everybody here watching will enjoy it. And again, if you have kids especially, please bring them from the room, tell them to get off their phone, and have them come and be a part of this special program created by Arsia Rozegar for Shahnameh for kids. Go ahead, my friend. The virtual stage is all yours.
So, the Shahnameh is an epic poem written by a gentleman named Ferdowsi in the 10th century. It captures the mythology and the legends and the history of Greater Iran from the beginning of civilization all the way until the Islamic conquest. So it has a lot of content in there. It even talks about the origins of Norouz. We're here celebrating Norouz, and according to legend, according to Shahnameh, the origins of Norouz started with the 4th Shah, Jamshid. It was a golden age back then. It was actually the first golden age of Greater Iran. It was peace, prosperity, art, creativity. It was a great time, and that was when Norouz began. It was the celebration of the first day of spring, and it started with the time of Jamshid. Today, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite stories in the Shahnameh, and it comes from my book, The Mighty Rostam, Shahnameh for Kids, The Mighty Rostam. So, with your permission, I'd like to take a moment and read a little bit of this book, a little excerpt, and we'll get started. So here's the cover. A long time ago, in the ancient kingdom of Sistan, which was found in the land of Greater Iran, there was a noble called Zal. Everyone admired and respected Zal because he was wise and honorable. Everything changed for Zal when he met Rudabe, an enchanting princess from the kingdom of Kabul. It was love at first sight. Zal was willing to go to any lengths to be with Rudabe. The love they shared was truly like no other. The joyous day arrived when Zal and Rudabe took their vows and became husband and wife. Friends and family from all over attended the wonderful wedding ceremony.
Rudabe had some great news to share with her husband. I am expecting a child, she told Zal. Zal was thrilled to find out he was going to be a father. In the passing months, Rudabe's belly grew bigger and bigger. Rudabe's belly grew so big that when it came time for the baby to be born, there was a problem. The baby was so large that it was actually stuck in Rudabe's tummy. Naturally, Zal was concerned. But Zal remembered a special promise and the magical golden feathers given to him by Seymour. Seymour was a mystical giant bird who raised Zal from when he was a child. Seymour told Zal that if he ever needed help, he was to simply burn one of her magical golden feathers. Zal tossed one of Seymour's golden feathers into an open fire. In a flash, Seymour arose from out of the smoke and flames. Using her marvelous magical powers, Seymour helped safely deliver the baby. Thanks to Seymour, Rudabe gave birth to a healthy and extremely big baby boy. He was given the name Rostam. Now, Rostam would grow up to be Greater Iran's bravest and mightiest Pahlavan. He would go on many fantastic adventures, battling dragons and Deves. But that's a story for another time.
Do you have intentions of making these into like cartoons, actual like motion art?
Yeah, that would be really amazing. Actually, I've thought about doing some animated kind of stuff, but that's another bridge to cross. You know, one bridge at a time.
Yeah.
But animation is definitely
Yeah.
something I have on the radar
Oh my
for
God!
sure.
I mean, it 100% should be on the horizon for you. And feel free to remind me after the live stream. I would say like Tuesday after I recover. That if you're not connected with Shahnameh, I think that would be a great collaboration because this kind of stuff, although it's amazing already as it is, to kind of make it more like animation. I feel like you would kind of see it come to life even more.
Yeah.
Like the next level stuff. So great stuff,
Thank
Arsia.
you.
So let me ask you this: what are the latest books that you have in the series that are coming out or are out?
Well, right now we have 3 books. The first book in the series is the story of Zal and Seymour. This is the first book in the series that came out, and it features the childhood of Zal and Seymour, which we touched upon a little bit in the story time. And that's followed up. The second book is The Mighty Rostam, which we did a little bit of a story of his birth today. And we go into his adventures and he fights thieves and dragons, and his Hafcon, his 7 challenges are in this book. He goes and rescues the Shah in an awesome hero's quest. That's the second book. And the third book that just came out recently is The Bravery of Gordafarid. And it's a really empowering tale about a female hero, a heroine named Gordafarid. When the Turanians come and attack Iran and they lay siege to the White Fortress led by Sohrab, everybody's scared and they don't know what to do. But there's one hero, Gordafarid. She stands up to the army all by herself. And it's a really empowering tale. It's really amazing. And I think a lot of people will enjoy this one as well. It's very heroic. So these are the 3 books, and we also have a coloring and activity book as well. But these are the 3 storybooks we have at the moment, and hopefully we'll have more to come in the future as well.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I got disconnected here for a
No
second.
worries.
So can you repeat the last one? You got the children activity color book?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Sorry, you said the last part was that you had a children coloring book.
Oh yeah,
correct?
we have a children's coloring and activity book as well. That's kind of a companion book to the storybooks that we have. So if you want to have unleash your creativity, do your own color combinations. There's mazes and word scrambles and word searches and stuff. It's a lot of fun. You get to use your creativity and do some coloring on these classic Shahnameh characters.
So actually, if there's parents that want to get this for their kids, can you let them know right now where they can find all these books? And do you have like any kind of bundle packages or specials, like anything that you can do to share more information about how people can enjoy these books? Please let them know.
Yeah, you can go to shahnamehforkids.com, all one word, or you can Google Shahnameh for Kids. The website should come up. And you can get your books signed and personalized by me. I'd be happy to sign them for you. It's directly in the website. There's a shop in there. Or you can go to Amazon.com. If you prefer Amazon, you can get the books from Amazon. I don't sign those, but if you can still order from them. But ShahnamehForKids.com and Amazon are the spots to order these books online. And for those of you in LA, it's in Ketob Corp too. If you're in Southern California, you can go to Westwood and pick up the books at Ketob Corp.
Oh, good old Ketob. That's great that you're actually over there too. So what's up? What's next for Shahnameh for Kids? Like, what do you see happening, or what would you like to see happen with this brand in the years to come?
There are so many wonderful tales in the Shahnameh. There isn't just these 3 stories that I'd like to get into. There are so many fantastic and exciting tales, like the tales of Keomars and the first humans, or the tales of Jamshid and Zahok and Feridun, or Give. There's so many amazing tales. I'd love to kind of just get in there and do each one for everybody to enjoy. That's kind of what I like to do.
What can people do to really like expedite the process for you to tell more of these stories? I mean, is there a way that people can kind of collaborate or sponsor, or like I'm assuming that one reason that takes a long time for these things to get released or created is probably a financial component, or maybe just time, I don't know. But like let's plant seeds into our viewers minds of how they can kind of keep you in mind when they come across certain people that would want to support the growth of what you're doing.
Well, with any product really, it only becomes successful by support from folks. So if you want more Shahnameh for Kids books, I recommend that you support the books by purchasing them. That way we can continue this endeavor. And if you really want to support on a whole nother level, we have a sponsorship program called Friends of Seymour. And we have lots of wonderful sponsors like IACC, BC, Mela Accounting, Iron DC. Lots of these wonderful sponsors helped with these books. And it wouldn't have been possible without them. So if you want to be a sponsor as well, just contact us on the website and I'd be happy to add you as a sponsor. It's a nice way to support the book as well.
For sure, man. Arsia, how old, well, first of all, is there anything else regarding Shahnameh for Kids that you wanted to share with the viewers?
Let's see. If you go to the website, there's some coloring pages. If you don't want to purchase the coloring book, there's a handful of pages you can actually download, PDFs downloadable, and you can print them out and have your kids color them. And I would love for parents to share these artwork too. So if you want to tag Shahnameh for Kids or hashtag Shahnameh for Kids, I'd love to see the little ones' creativity. I love seeing their artwork and their colors and their creativity. So you can go to the website, download some pages. I'd love to see what the kids are up to.
That's really cute, man. Arsia, when you were a kid, were you a big fan of comic books? Was this something that was just in you at a super young age, and then when you got older, you wanted to kind of reconnect with the younger Arsia?
Yeah, for sure. I've always been a fan of heroes as far back as I can remember. I love Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, the Ninja Turtles, Masters of the Universe. So I guess it was only natural that my love for heroes would go right to the Shahnameh and go to Rostam and Isfandiar and all these epic heroes from our culture. I actually think Rostam was probably the OG superhero as far as I'm concerned.
No bias there at all. I mean, I probably agree with you. First of all, I think you and Brandon will have some great conversations once he's super rested, because I know he's into superheroes too. So I think you guys will have great conversations. But as far as for me, I think it's just a beautiful thing that I can already imagine like 5-year-old Arsia, spending hours and hours at nights watching, reading comic books, and then who would have thought that so many years later you're creating the same comic books, and now children that were your age when you fell in love with it are enjoying it, and who knows where that connection with the Shahnameh for Kids will take them 10, 20, 30 years down the road when they grow up and when they decide to choose what to do. Maybe they then come create other comedies, sketches and storytelling for other children down the road. So I feel like you're just kind of like passing on the baton from the inner youth of you to the youth of other people, man. So I think what you're doing is a beautiful thing, and I hope that you're appreciating the cycle that you're continuing by kind of passing down to the next generation. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, inspiration is an interesting thing. Yeah, it comes from all aspects, and it's really fascinating how, like, even as a youth, it can create these seeds that can dictate the future. And I would love to see kids that are reading these books now and see if it inspires them to create amazing art products and cultural products in the future. It's something to think about for sure.
Time will tell, man. But I mean, either way, man, I'm so, first of all, I'm so appreciative and grateful for the work that you put in, and I have no doubt that the people that are watching here right now, they enjoyed this little segment, and if they've never heard about you and what you've been doing, I have no doubt that they're very proud of you, and they're very happy that something like this exists. And so, like, I know the parents who come across this will hopefully want to buy it for their children, or if you have a sister or brother that has just had kids, this is a wonderful gift to give them. Maybe if you didn't get anybody an 80, you can give them a belated 80. You know, this is such a great gift to give to other people. And while you're giving a great gift to somebody, you're also supporting Arsia as he continues to create these magical stories, and you know, giving your kids something enjoyable to watch and read and enjoy and play with. So Arsia, man, on a closing note, I just want to give you the virtual stage to give any kind of message of positivity or anything you want to share as we turn a new page on a new year, 1400. Would love for you to just kind of spend a couple minutes and just speak to the Persian people around the world.
Thank you, Iman. First of all, I want to thank you for having me. It's an honor. It's a pleasure to be here and spend this time with you and the audience. And I also want to thank your Unite and Conquer team for their hard work and their dedication to putting this event. I know it's not easy. I know it's definitely a task unto itself, and I want to thank you and your team. With that said, Norouz no Piruz. I wish everybody an amazing Norouz, an amazing New Year. I hope all the peace, all the prosperity, all the happiness that the world can offer you. I hope we can go and make the world a better place with our actions, with our deeds. And happy Norouz, everybody. Norouz no Piruz. امیدوارم سال بسیار شاد باشه واسه همه.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much for spending your first day of Norouz with us. You brought some great diversity into our program. Appreciate everything that you do for the community. Really, in your case, globally, because there's so many people that would really enjoy what you're creating. So I hope that your love and passion for this never dies, and that Shahnameh for Kids continues to grow, and that you have hundreds and hundreds of great stories to put on bookshelves all around the world, in stores and on Amazon. So thank you again. Happy Norouz to you, my friend, and keep on doing what you're doing, brother. Rooting for you.